lift the pelvis up a little bit. So you see how I move the top of the back thigh up. Now this is going to stretch into my right hip more as I slide the pubic bone back to place the elbows onto the ground. I'm not touching my right thigh at this point. My right knee and shoulder are not connected for this variation, okay? So for those of you doing the preliminary Ekapada Galavasana, and if you don't know, that's you. So if you don't know which variation you're working on, this is you. Pull your back knee forward isometrically so you get the hip flexors to activate and your bum is up to the sky, so you're stretching your front hip. Those of you that know that you're working on version 2 where you're extending the back leg, well, you could keep that activation of your hip flexors, but also activate your quads. So you straighten through the back leg and reach through the heel in this position here. Now, either way, you could be working on this variation if you'd like, but you want to make sure your hip flexors are active. So if the knee is down, you're pressing the knee down and dragging it forward. That's going to be a lot more closely related to Ekapada Galavasana, the preliminary posture with the knee into the chest. That's really going to give you a sensationally accurate experience. Where those of you extending the leg, of course, you want to straighten through the back knee because that's going to be a lot more closely related to your final experience. Okay, you're going to walk the right foot to the left. Now at this point, some of you are going to be able to get your knee to the ground, others of you not at all, so you're going to bring the foot back if that's the case. But what I really like to do is get our shin up on a block or two in my case, because I have more like 3/4 blocks, and really get the foot to hook onto the blocks. So I'm really thinking pinky toe is trying to pull into the block, and that's going to be a lot of work for the shin muscles, but that's what's going to keep this leg clamped on the arm, help it from sliding down. Now pull your back knee forward isometrically, and I just utilize that to kind of pull my right hip back, and then move everything back a little bit if possible without losing the back knee pulling forward. Oh, really try to not lose the grip of the ankle around the, toes into the block. All right, and come on out. Take the right ankle over the knee like this. Watch how I get the ankle to my left armpit first. So I actually drop my right knee first to get my left. See how when I drop my right knee, watch how it brings my right ankle closer to my left armpit. So you see I dip down into the right. Then I clamp the pinky toe around the arm. And then I lift my right knee into my right armpit. Boom. Now, this is where everyone gets confused, because if you just tried to do an arm balance here, it would never happen. Your left foot is full of weight. In fact, you can see I can lift my hands up. So that means all the weight is in my left foot, right? So I have to somehow get to a point where my hands have all the weight and my left foot has none of the weight, whilst keeping this ankle over the armpit. So I'm just wiggling around a little bit to try to get the ankles up tight to the armpit as possible. I sit my butt down and tippy toe my fingers out in front, and then watch, I lean forward and come up onto the tippy toes of my left foot. Now, re-engage, clamp and press down through my right shin like it's pigeon pose, and pull my left knee to the chest, and perhaps that gives you some flight or not. But you do the mechanics, right? So you get here, you tippy toe forward, lean, 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 get to this point here, fingers gripping the ground, press your right shin down, drag your left knee forward, maybe the left leg lifts up, maybe it doesn't, okay? And you get to the preliminary version of Ekapada Galavasana. Flying or not flying doesn't make a difference. Do the mechanics. Now think about this. Take your left ankle over your knee. In Ekapada Galavasana, your left shin in this case would be in your armpits. So how would you get it there? A couple of things. Your right knee, so your right hip flexors, would activate to pull the leg closer to your chest. So do that a few times. Just pull the leg tight into your chest as you can. And if you don't do anything else, you can't get very far. But watch, I use my abdominal muscles to bring it really tight. So I use my abdominals to flex the spine. So flex the spine and pull the knee tight into the chest. And then if you want to take the next step, you actually try to hold the posture, hold Ekapada Galavasana with the ankle and the arm. So you reach your arms up. You can do a sit up first, or there's two ways of doing this. The easy way would be what we just did. You kind of use gravity to help yourself get this foot around the arm, right? And you see I'm holding onto my other foot, and then you can release the foot, and here you are. That's the easier way. And you see I'm clamping my pinky toe around the arm, and I'm doing Galavasana. The hard way would be to do a sit-up this way, then go. Just a little bit more effort. And so I drop my left hip and get the left, right, so I get my left ankle up as high on the right armpit as possible. And then I clamp and I try to get the pinky toe onto the arm. That's the dorsiflexed and everted foot we just chatted about today. And then get the left knee up into the left armpit. Now, that's not where it stops. I wiggle a lot more, just kind of go back and forth and try to get it as high as possible. If you get it to the middle of the tricep, you're gonna be bruising your tricep. Not a big deal. It's not a long-term injury. It's just uncomfortable. The higher up in the armpit, the nicer it will feel. Now, I can't balance this pose because my right foot's taking all the weight. I know this because my hands can come up off the ground. So I have to shift everything forward. So I lower my butt. You see, I lower my butt, lift my chest, and walk forward. Then I lean forward by lifting my bottom heel. Here we go, lean, 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 and pull my right knee into the chest. The left shin is pressing down into my arms. Everything's the same so far, nothing's changed. Now I push down into my right shin, so instead of being down here like this, I push down, pelvis goes up, I extend with a bent knee, and then a straight leg.